So Darius Foru actually wrote total 10 books. And out of 10, one of the books is not in print, which was his second book. I shared last time only. And the other 9 is in print. And this was his third book. Think Straight was his third book, which eventually became an international bestseller. And after that, he wrote uh, 3 more books. Then his seventh book came up, which was again became an international bestseller. And see, I got a big inspiration from the authors who have written books after 2015. Now, why I'm saying so, let me share my thoughts on this. Just give me 1 second. So I'll just take 2-3 minutes on this before we start the reading. And I'm telling you, it is going to encourage each one of you to think about authoring a book. Even if you have authored books earlier, you can think of authoring a new book altogether. And just a sec. कहाँ गए मेरे thoughts सारे? Okay, this is FELD. See, this was his first book, Win Your Inner Battles. So this book he wrote when he actually thought about quitting his job and following his passion. And this is where he started his book authoring career. I always listen to the words which I use. There's a difference between writing a book and there's a difference with authoring a book. Writing means you're just collecting data from different sources, putting it together and write something. That's what writing is all about. उसमें आपका experience का कुछ है नहीं. It is just your thoughts which you think that these can be collected and put together and come up with a book. Authoring is something when you discover or you display that you are the authority on whatever you're writing. And when you become an author, so and you express your authority on that whatever you're writing, whatever you put in that book or in that article, whatever you're authoring, what happens? All of a sudden, from no one you become someone. Listen to this, what I'm saying. सुनने में बहुत सिंपल लगेगा लेकिन ये इतना सिंपल भी नहीं है. And that makes a difference in the world out there. And eventually, you create a mark in people's mind, in your reader's mind, as an author. लोग जब आपकी writings पढ़ते हैं, they start experiencing that you are an authority on whatever you are writing, and it definitely makes a difference. So that is the big difference between writing and authoring. Okay? Now, what this guy did is, what Darius Foru did is, the way he writes his book, he says that I only write whatever I say, and I write exactly the way I say it. उसका बहुत सुंदर सा वीडियो है 15 मिनट का, where he was talking about how to become an author if you want to become one. So this was his first book where he actually read out his mind. मेरे दिमाग में यही चल रहा है, तो मैं कई लोगों से बात कर रहा हूँ, तो लोग मेरे को कह रहे हैं यार तेरे दिमाग में जो चल रहा है तू वही लिख दे, उसी को छाप दे. And this is how this book came out. Win Your Inner Battles. So the battle that he was fighting with himself is, मैं ये जॉब कंटिन्यू करूं या मेरा जो मन करता है कि एक किताब लिखूं, दुनिया में अपना नाम रोशन करूं, वो करूं. So that was the battle he was going through. And he literally thought about putting it together and thought करके देखते हैं, जो होगा देखा जाएगा. So this is where he got the impression. But one thing he did very cleverly. You know what he did? Listen to this carefully. What he did, he made sure that his first book should be published by a company जिसके बारे में लोग already जानते हैं. So he didn't go to a Tom, Dick, Harry author, publisher. He straight away went to Penguin. अब Penguin हर एक का किताब नहीं छापता. So he wanted to ensure कि उसका किताब, whatever he is writing, that should be at least up to that standard. जहाँ पे पेंगुइन उसको बोलेगा चलो ठीक है मैं छापने के लिए तैयार हूँ क्योंकि मेरा लोगो जा रहा है तुम्हारे किताब के ऊपर, उसका कुछ तो वजन होना चाहिए कि मैं किसको एंडोर्स कर रहा हूँ, है ना. Getting your book published from a publisher like Penguin is like they are endorsing your book. They are telling people that you must read this book because he is not a writer, he is an author. And whatever that person has put in this book, he's an authority on that. You ask about anything which he has written in the book, and he can talk about it at length. That's what Penguin is all about. So सोचो उसने Penguin को convince किया, motivate किया, inspire किया, encourage किया to publish his first book, है ना. Because he had a very clear vision कि कैसे भी हो मेरे को यार international bestseller बनना है, मेरा किताब का कम से कम मिलियन लोगों के हाथ में जाना चाहिए, लोग उसको उठाएंगे पढ़ेंगे. एंड आई कैनॉट रीच मिलियन पीपल. अगर मुझे मिलियन पीपल तक पहुंचना तो I need to reach at least 5 to 10 people who are going to take it to the millions eventually in the same way through word of mouth. You know? That's why it happened. Like as Sumita ma'am was showing the book, you know? Her daughter has already purchased it some time back. Her daughter-in-law, whatever she said, I didn't notice that. But at least this book, she had purchased a physical copy some time back. तभी तो इसका मिलियन कॉपीज बिके हैं, और वो भी सिर्फ एक देश में नहीं. इट्स नॉट इन नीदरलैंड्स, it has been sold worldwide. Just think of the vision this guy had, है ना. This was his first, this was his second one, from procrastinate hero to procrastinate zero. This book didn't came out as a published version, it was just an ebook. Then came this third book, Think Straight. A lot of research had gone into it to ensure that how I can make a book which is easy to handle. Listen to this word, which is easy to handle, followed by easy to read, followed by easy to comprehend, followed by easy to apply, and followed by telling somebody that if you want to buy a book, how about buying it? इसको खरीद के देखो, तुम्हारे फ्लाइट में जाते जाते तुम इसको पढ़ भी लोगे, उसमें कुछ ना कुछ चीज तुम्हें ऐसा मिलेगा जिसको तुम्हें लगेगा चलो मैं अपनी लाइफ में प्रैक्टिस करके देखूं. So a lot of thought went into just writing this book, and that's why the subtitle of the book says, "Change your thoughts, change your life." जो हम NLP में बोलते हैं, है ना, change your thoughts, change your life. So the book that we read before this, Mark Ricklowka, and this book itself, Darius Furuka, is fundamentally it's a sneak preview of NLP. अगर किसी ने कभी NLP कभी पढ़ा नहीं होगा, जाना नहीं होगा, देखा नहीं होगा, so they can read this book, and if they practice this book, they can actually get an opportunity to practice neuro-linguistic programming consciously. This is how these books have been designed. That's why it became an international bestseller. Then this book came out, Do It Today, which was his fourth book, which was also eventually became an international bestseller. This was a very good book. Like when it's you can say it's a sequel of this book, which had the title The Power of Now. If you have read that book, The Power of Now, आपको लगे ये उसी का सीक्वल है काइंड ऑफ थिंग, और मे बी अ प्रीक्वल काइंड ऑफ थिंग. चलो पहले इसको पढ़ के देखते हैं, देन आई विल रीड द पावर ऑफ नाउ. देन दिस बुक केम आउट, व्हाट इट टेक्स टू बी फ्री. ये भी ना इसका पहला जो किताब है ऑलमोस्ट उसके साथ अलाइंड है. You know, the first book where he was talking about any way you do it, this book also aligned like that. ठीक है, आप इतना स्ट्रगल कर रहे हो, इतना किताबें पढ़ रहे हो, इतना ट्रेनिंग अटेंड कर रहे हो, इतना कुछ कर रहे हो, how what it takes to be free. So he narrated his perspective on that what you can do to make yourself free. This was published in 2019, just the pre-COVID year, kind of. And now COVID came in 2019, November, December में आया. तो this book was published almost at that time. July, August, September उस time पे publish हुआ था. Then this highly productive remote work. This was a 2020 product, and this book came to his mind when COVID was there. उसने सोचा कि यार लोग घर बैठ के कैसे काम कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि अभी वही जमाना आया. So this is how he came up with this book, followed by The Road to Better Habits. बहुत सुंदर किताब है. A simple framework for transforming your habits. So he's not saying that get new habits or delete old habits. He was not talking about that. He was talking about habit transformation. Now, habit transformation is something which a completely dynamic new way of looking at how to manage habits. We didn't till date we did about anything about managing habits. है ना, हम खाली यही बातें कर रहे हैं कि कौन सा हैबिट सही है, कौन सा हैबिट सही नहीं है, कौन सा गुड है, कौन सा बैड है. उस हिसाब से अपने आप हैबिट्स को हैंडल करो, या हैबिट बनाओ ना बनाओ, डिलीट करो ना डिलीट करो, तोड़ो. दिस इज व्हाट वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट एज फार एज हैबिट्स आर कंसर्न. ही क्रिएटेड अ न्यू वे ऑफ लुकिंग एट इट. वो कह रहे कोई बात नहीं, हैबिट जैसा वैसा ही रहने दो, आप खाली उसको ट्रांसफॉर्म कर दो सो दैट इट बिकम्स a tool for you where you can make a difference in your life. So he said that there is nothing called good habit or bad habit. It's all about habit. That's it. है ना, आप उसको गुड गुड के लिए यूज करो, बैड के लिए यूज करो. That is what the results that you get accordingly when you apply that habit. है ना, going to bed is a habit. अब going to bed early है या late है, that it is going to define how you are going to cultivate the rest of your life or rest of your day. And he was talking about cultivating the day. It's not just living the day. You are actually throughout the day, whatever activities you are doing, the purpose is to cultivate your life. तो he got this new concept कि आप actually कुछ, अगर आप देखोगे मैं सारा दिन क्या कर रहा हूँ, the only thing that you're doing is you're cultivating your life based on the habits that you have and using them the way you want to use them. So that's what a new way of looking at habits, and we're here talking about that how you can transform your habit to make them work for you. You know? Then this book came up, which is in 2022, Focus on What Matters. Then this book was his Stoic Experiences, which came last year, The Stoic Path to the Wealth. And this is the one which was launched this year, 21 Big Ideas That Will Change Your Life. ये भी बहुत सुंदर है. Basically, he picked up 21 best essays written by great people, और उसको बहुत बढ़िया तरीके से उसने एनालाइज करके इस किताब को लिखा है. बहुत सुंदर बुक है. So that is I'm just giving a background that from where this guy came, and he has only one intention to fulfill in his life, and that is to become an author who has more than million books sold in his life. एक ही सपना था उसका. तो किसी किताब को मिलियन कॉपीज बेचने के लिए उसके लिए इट्स लाइक अ प्रोजेक्ट. इट्स नॉट लाइक जस्ट कि मेरा मन किया मैंने किताब लिख दिया. नथिंग लाइक दैट. एंड there are multiple definitions of books. One of the definition is the objective or purpose of a book is to transform somebody's life with the wisdom that you received from the, आप कुछ भी बोलो, यूनिवर्सल कॉन्शियसनेस बोलो. The universal consciousness से आपने जो wisdom receive किया, you are basically putting it together in the form of a book and transforming or rather transferring that wisdom to people so that they can transform themselves on their own. So that's why I say कि books are if there is a particular category of books जहाँ पे हम बोलते हैं self help, it's actually not self help. It's a self empowering book. It's all about self empowerment. आप किताब को जब खुद पढ़ते हो, कर आप एक्चुअली करके रहो, आप अपने आप को एम्पावर कर रहे हो. If you are not empowering yourself, then it is of actually no use. It will be just as any other knowledge that you are collecting from any other resource. So if you observe carefully what happened pre-COVID, it was all self-help. वो लोग किताब पढ़ते थे, अपने आप को help करते थे. When COVID came, a new industry came up, and this industry was all about self-education. कि आप अपने आप को educate करो, because during this COVID period, these words became very prominent. Upscale, uplift, है ना? आप ध्यान देना. People are talking about update करो अपने आप को, upgrade करो अपने आप को, है ना? Unlearn. This word also became very popular कि बहुत कुछ सीख चुके हो जो अभी काम में नहीं आएगा, because COVID created a new, altogether new normal. है ना? So you need to unlearn lot of things. You need to update yourself. You need to upgrade yourself. You need to upscale yourself. You need to upskill yourself. These words became like buzzwords during those 2 3 years of COVID and even the following years. So that created a new industry which is called self-education industry. That it's time to educate yourself. है ना? After that, another industry came up which only I talked about. Like I am talking about that industry since last 2 years, 2.5 years, and I'm calling that industry as a self-empowerment industry. And very few people are actually working in self-empowerment industry. Very few. The गिन के बोल सकते who are the people who are actually working or delivering training बोलो या imparting education बोलो as a self-empowerment industry. That, and where I am talking about the self-empowerment, am I good enough to empower myself to bring in or get into a state of motivation, encouragement, and inspiration without any external stimulus? Like if I want to get motivated, I don't need to wait for somebody else to do it for me. I am strong enough, I am good enough that I can empower myself to become motivated, inspired, and encouraged at any given point of time. This is what self-empowerment is all about. Okay. And so if you can write a book to make someone self-empowered, that book is definitely going to become a bestseller. That's what these books are doing. है ना? तभी तो इस किताब को लेके आज हम every Sunday we are reading. कितना impact किया होगा? This author doesn't even know when he was writing this book that some people in India will get together in a morning, on a Sunday morning at 6:30 a.m. to read my book. Is at this point of time हो सकता है वो सो रहा है नीदरलैंड्स में. And just see what he created. This is the power. This is what you create when you author a book. AUTHOR. When you author a book, you can create these kind of timeless moments worldwide, and you don't even know that this is happening. कितना मजे की बात है when you don't know who is buying your book and who is reading it and who is discussing it. है ना? So that is what I wanted to share with all of you, that here is an opportunity. Like this is what the intention that I come up to uh, having this get together on a Sunday 6:30 a.m. morning with all of you. Okay, so let me share the book and let's go ahead with the reading. So इस book को ना, इस the books that I am bringing up for all of you in this Sunday morning session, उसको बस पढ़ने के लिए मत पढ़िए. Like they can create timeless presence of yourself to the world out there even when you don't exist. है ना? तो डोंट मिस आउट ऑन दैट अपॉर्चुनिटी. जितना हो सके उसको एक्सप्लोर करने के लिए तैयारी कीजिए, उसको एक्सप्रेस करने के लिए तैयारी कीजिए. दिस इज द अपॉर्चुनिटी. इट सच बुक्स आर ओपनिंग अप फॉर अस. जस्ट थिंक अबाउट इट कि डॉक्टर अदुकिया गॉट सो एक्साइटेड, ही बॉट ऑल द 6 books which came in a bookcase. जस्ट थिंक अबाउट इट. 6 बुक उसने 6 साल अलग अलग ईयर में लिखा है, and Penguin published it together as a gift case, and Dr. Aditya got so excited about it, he bought all the 6 books. तभी जाके बंदा मिलियन मिलियन बुक उसका मिलियन कॉपीज बिके ना. कितने इंस्पायर किया होगा उन्होंने. उनके साथ ऐसा थोड़ी कि उन्होंने दारियुश के साथ बात की कि चलो Darius, let's have a session and let me think whether I should buy your books or not. है ना? This is what I am talking about. That self-empowerment. These books created a new genre, which is called self-empowerment genre. You know, like my wife published a book, and the paperback of that book we published only yesterday. I was looking for this category. कि ऐसा कोई कैटेगरी है, सो आई हैड अ डिस्कशन विद ऑफ द नोशन प्रेस. बोला यार सेल्फ एम्पावरमेंट कोई कैटेगरी है नहीं. मैंने बोला डालो ना, क्यों नहीं डालो, आप डालो. आई हैड अ कन्वर्सेशन विद देम, आई ट्राइड टू कन्विंस देम दैट व्हाई नॉट. इतने सारे कैटेगरीज किताबों के अगर हो सकता है, व्हाई नॉट अ सेल्फ एम्पावरमेंट कैटेगरी. आप डालो पहला बुक सेल्फ एम्पावरमेंट कैटेगरी का अगर दुनिया में होगा तो मेरा किताब होगा. व्हाई नॉट. एक एक कैटेगरी जो आया वो तो ऐसे ही आया ना. somebody thought about why not this category should be there. Okay, so let me share the screen. Yes, Mangala ma'am, please go ahead.
Yeah, a very brief history of thinking. Thoughts are important, but not all thoughts are equal. The quality of your thoughts matters the most. Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius said it best. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. A quick look at our surroundings shows us that life is changing faster than ever. Jobs disappear, smartphones turn you into a zombie, education costs you thousands, the cost of living increases rapidly, salaries don't, you have less time for yourself, and so on. Life changes so fast that it seems like you wake up in a new world every day. What do your thoughts make of it? If you're anything like me, these developments cause a lot of thinking, aka, worrying, and uncertainty. How do I survive? How do I adapt my business to changing markets? How do I advance my career? How do I not lose my mind? Mastering your thoughts is challenging. The desire to master our thoughts is as old as modern civilization. Ever since the 5th century BC, philosophers from all ages and regions agree on one thing. The human mind is the human mind is an instrument that solves problems. And many philosophers argue that the quality of your thoughts determine the quality of your life. From Confucius to Socrates to Descartes to William James, they all talk about their method of thinking, a way to view the world. Most of us know that Socratic method of questioning everything, even yourself. I know one thing, that I know nothing, is what Socrates famously told the oracle of Delphi when Socrates was declared the wisest man on earth. The fact that he thinks that he knows nothing makes him wise. That's a way of thinking. French philosopher René Descartes, who lived in the 17th century, took it one step further. He questioned everything in life, even his own existence. Because how do you know you're not dreaming or living in the matrix? That's why he famously said, cogito ergo sum, popularly translated to, I think, therefore I am. Descartes concluded that he must exist because he's able to think. No matter how crazy your thoughts are, it's safe to say that you do exist. So why not make your existence a little more practical, light-hearted, fun, and useful? Have you ever observed or written down your thoughts? I challenge you, try it for a day. Every 2 hours or so, sit down and write about what you're thinking at that very moment. Just don't get scared of yourself. Most of our thoughts make no sense at all. We are conflicted as a species. Descartes also reviewed his own thoughts and found many contradictions. His most important idea is that we should question the source of our beliefs, not the belief itself, because most of our beliefs are based on our or other people's perception. How many of your ideas are based on what others have told you, or based on your first thoughts or assumptions? At the core of thinking lies our ability to separate the truth from falsehood. What is true? What is false? One way to look at that question is to take a pragmatic perspective. William James describes the idea of pragmatism as follows: the attitude of looking away from first things, principles, categories, supposed necessities, and looking towards last things, fruits, consequences, facts. Thoughts should serve a useful purpose. If they don't, they are useful. That's right. That's straight thinking. Pragmatism is a method of thinking, not a solution. In fact, all thinking is a method. Your thoughts serve as an instrument, but it's a conflicting instrument that's very hard to use. Henry Ford said it best: thinking is the hardest work there is, which is probably the reason why so few engage in it. Thinking is not only hard, it's the single most important thing in life. Remember, the quality of our thoughts determines the quality of our lives, and our decisions are a result of our thoughts. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Can we do a quick reflection on this for about next 5, 6 minutes, 7 minutes?
Unknowingly we'd keep on thinking, that is the human mind. And I
Hmm.
think if we, research has shown that per day we think of thousands and thousands of thoughts, but very few are really useful and relevant. The others are just like wind which comes and goes. Is that so?
Yes, we can say that, because अगर हम NLP की perspective से देखें, तो NLP says that we are getting 60 to 70,000 thoughts every day,
Yeah.
and out of that, almost 95% of the thoughts are repetitive in nature. They're so repetitive that we don't even notice that we are thinking about them. For example, when you are brushing your teeth, so thousands of thoughts are covered in that simple activity of brushing your teeth every day in the morning, and we don't even notice that we are thinking those thoughts. Then comes the remaining five thoughts, 5% of the thoughts which are new in nature. They are coming to you through some other resources. आपने कुछ देखा, कुछ जाना, and that is encouraging or inspiring you to think about that particular event. What happens after that is, out of those 5% new thoughts, we delete almost 95% of those thoughts as well. So the communication of the mind covers three things. One is deletion, which is almost 95 to 98% of the things which is coming to us. Then the remaining जो 1%, 2% रह जाता है. Normally it is even less than that, because technically it is like we are getting almost about 2 million thoughts, 2 million thoughts every minute. And out of those 2 million thoughts, sorry, not every minute, 2 million thoughts every second, 2 million data points. We could see 2 million data points every second, and out of the 2 million data points, we could pick up only 6 to 7 plus minus 2 data points every second. And out of those 5 to 7 data points which we are eventually filtering out, we are doing two activities with that. One is distorting means connecting it with the previous experience which we already have about that, and then generalizing some of them. And that is the reason why, like, even when I'm talking, I'm saying we. लेकिन we is not the truth, we is not the reality is I. मतलब मुझे ऐसा लगता है, मेरे हिसाब से यही है. Though to cover it up, you and I use the word we, and this is the generalization part of it. So yes, ma'am, whatever you're saying, most of it we just ignore. And what are the new thoughts which are coming to us? We take only a few of them to make it work for us. That's why this book is all about. It is saying that what we are doing with the thoughts which we are actually thinking, and how we, like, am I consciously aware that what kind of thoughts I am thinking right now? And if I can do that, then I have a control. I can control them, and probably I can select the ones which make sense, and I can take it to the next level. Or at least I know that what I'm doing with those thoughts. I'm aware that this is what I'm doing. और उसके लिए एक चीज की बहुत जरूरी है, which author talks about at a later stage, that as Sumita was also shared with us in the last session, step one is pause. रुक जाओ, रुको. So unless you stop, how do you know that what thought is going in your mind? आप किसी चीज को देखने के लिए आपको थोड़ी देर रुकना पड़ेगा ना. When you're on the driver's seat of a car, you don't enjoy anything which is happening around you. The only thing that your focus is on the road, है ना. इन कार के जो बाकी पैसेंजर्स बैठते हैं, when you are on a vacation, when you are going anywhere, they look around. वो बोलते वाओ कितना सुंदर ये है, वाओ कितना सुंदर दैट है. और जो ड्राइवर है वो सोच रहा है पता नहीं इनको क्या क्या चीज वाओ लग रहा है, क्योंकि मैं तो ड्राइव कर रहा हूँ. अगर उसको भी वो नजारा देखना है, वो एंजॉय करना है, यू हैव टू स्टॉप, टेक अ पॉज. लाइक जब हम पहाड़ी में घूमने जाते हैं, तो कभी कभी आई लुक फॉर अ स्पॉट जहाँ पे थोड़ा सा जगह है, आई कैन पार्क माई कार एंड आई कैन ऑल्सो गेट डाउन एंड सी व्हाट दिस गाइज आर ऑल वाचिंग. वो क्या देख देख के वाओ वाओ कर रहा है ना. मेरे को तो खाली सामने का ही दिख रहा है और टर्न्स दिख रहा है, बट दे कुड सी एवरीथिंग, because their vision is not on the road which I am driving, which we are moving. इधर देख रहे उधर देख रहे, उनको पता नहीं क्या क्या चीज दिख रहा है. So that's what is connected here. It's a real life example जहाँ पे you can actually, you can tell yourself यार अगर तुम्हें मजा लेना है तो रुको. So taking that pause is the most important activity, which can give you an opportunity to figure out what are the thoughts going on in your mind and which of them are important to you at that point of time. So that's my perspective on this chapter. Yes, anybody else would like to add anything to it?
Yeah, I would like to add on this. See, this chapter is very important because uh, we have we can't stop thoughts; those will come, and the research says 70 to 80% are negative. So that also perhaps we may modify, but we can't control. So what I do, when I have some thought which is a negative thought or the situation which I cannot control. So positive way, I think if I am not in this world now or tomorrow, the things will go on as they are going on. So this is one way, and slowly, if we meditate or we have experts here of mindfulness, Sanjana ji, Somita ji, and perhaps all of us. So if we practice that, and while commuting, I've started enjoying commuting. When I commute by, say, Ola, Uber, I see the shops on both sides, which I have not seen maybe for a long time. And I get a new learning ki what is happening, how other people are working, and what are the kind of products are available, things like that. Thank you.
Pinaki, what I feel ki whatever thoughts we get, nothing goes waste. Sometimes we think these are thoughts which are not appropriate, but when the time comes, they give you a guideline. They give you some kind of a power, and you start thinking in a different way then, and that helps you in many ways. Thank you.
Yeah, my perspective, good morning all. I was, when this chapter was going through, I was just thinking that, this should not become another philosophy kind of a thing, because I read it long back where my first book was on Louis Hay. And then I read this book a long back, but I was thinking that what made me not apply it 100%. So I was just thinking from the thought, meaning from the energy perspective. So if I think my thoughts as my energy perspective, then it could be a real game changer. Meaning thereby,
We all of us know that our time, our energy, and our resources are precious, right? Now, if I think my thought from my energy perspective, that the moment I get entangled or spiral into the thoughts which are no more serving me, and if I take a pause, and because you also can try it, jabhi bhi, if you are come across any thoughts of anger or resentment or any kind of a thing, तो आप देखो आपकी एनर्जी ड्रेन होने लग जाती है. So if my 60 to 70% of thoughts in a day are not serving me or negative perspective, then my energy will also drain. So, if I give a new definition to my thoughts as an energy, then I will become more conscious in, using my thoughts in a more productive way. So when I started applying this, then I thought that, okay, now this line really helps me a lot, that the quality of your life is depend on the quality of your thoughts. Otherwise वो बहुत philosophical हो रही थी. And जैसे first इस chapter में बताया कि the thinking is the hardest thing. सो नेगेटिव थॉट्स पतझड़ की तरह अपने आप आ जाते हैं, लेकिन कॉन्शियस एफर्ट जब हम करते हैं टू ब्रिंग द थॉट्स इन अ व्हाट द ओके, ठीक है, जैसे सुमेधा मैम ने बताया कि एवरी थॉट कुड सर्व अ पर्पस, राइट? सो यू कैन डू अ लॉट ऑफ रिफ्लेक्शन बाय टेकिंग पॉज कि ठीक है, वॉट एवर द थॉट्स आर कमिंग, आई एक्सेप्ट इट, आई एक्नॉलेज इट, and let me think that which thoughts are really serving me, which thoughts are making my boat move faster towards my goal, and which thoughts which are not helping me, I just let go of. So जो meta awareness जिसे हम कहते हैं, just pause, observe your thoughts and ignore it if they are not serving you. That's all my takeaway.
स्मिता, हमारा जो कभी कभी जो सोचने का पैटर्न होता है ना, वो इस ढंग से होना शुरू हो जाता है कि कई जो थॉट्स नहीं हमें लगती कि यूजलेस है, वो अपने आप डिलीट होती रहती हैं. एंड द पर्पसफुल थॉट्स कीप ऑन गिविंग अस द हिंट अगेन एंड अगेन.
Very interesting. All
And
right,
one
let's
more
go ahead.
thing, I can relate it with transformation of habit of thinking pattern. Yes, so Samita ने बहुत अच्छी बात बोली है कि हम ट्रांसफॉर्म कर सकते हैं, कॉन्शियसली सोच के हम उसको डिलीट करते जाएंगे. दैट वी शुड मेक हैबिट ऑफ दैट.
Absolutely.
थैंक यू.
Absolutely. Great. Let's go ahead with the next chapter. Who would like to go ahead?
CSU students were used as paramedics for these demonstrations.
Who would like to read?
Yeah. If
May
someone, yeah.
Yes, go ahead. Yeah, don't need to take permission.
Okay, but wait a minute. No. Okay. So, life is not linear. I always thought in a linear way. A leads to B, and if B is C, A also leads to C. I looked at appearances, first thoughts, and made a lot of assumptions. But my thoughts didn't serve a useful purpose. In fact, they served no purpose at all. Instead of thinking, I followed convention. I let others do the thinking for me. Most of us are like that. For example, I thought I would never have to worry about having a job if I got my college degree. I honestly believed that until I was about 26 years old. I figured out the hard way that nothing is guaranteed in life and that you have to work hard to earn money, and that making money has nothing to do with your degrees. If I had to pick another predictor of career success, I would say it's skills. The better you are at something, the more value you can provide to others, and the more money people are willing to pay in exchange for your value. Also, achieving a goal never happens linearly. Most of us believe there is a straight line from where you are to where you want to be. Let's say your goal is to start a business so you can have more freedom in your life. That was always my goal. I thought I could just walk on it and until I achieved it. So here we have a diagram of you or I and this squiggly line, which is like a snake going towards a goal. So, but that's not how it worked out. I had to take a lot of detours. I worked for many other people in between. I also started businesses that failed. Understanding that life is not linear helps us to change the way we think. Along the way, I got discouraged a lot and almost quit. Now I realize that things often don't go according to plan. That helps me to think of backup plans or alternative options to get closer to my goals. Another personal goal of mine was to invest in real estate. When I lived in London and Amsterdam, that was difficult for me because I didn't have enough capital to get started. So instead of putting a lot of pressure on myself to make more money and sacrifice the quality of my life, I started looking elsewhere. After researching growing real estate markets, I ended up in my hometown. Prices were low, and I knew a lot of people. The population was increasing, and the city invested a lot in new businesses and education. 2 months after I decided to look elsewhere, I bought my first deal there. The, the point is that there are multiple ways to achieve your goals. Also, if everyone is doing one thing, that often means you shouldn't.
Wow. Let's have a quick reflection on this. Yes.
The last part is very interesting. The point is that there are multiple ways to achieve your goals. Also, if everyone is doing one thing, that means you shouldn't. Very beautiful, very much interesting. So nature gives you all kind of options. We don't look at it. We don't think of it.
Absolutely. Yes, Shilpa. Share your reflections. We had a deep discussions yesterday. Why don't you share something from there?
Okay, I don't know if it was from yesterday, but I know it from my personal experience
Yeah, please.
that um, life is a journey and I enjoy every bit of it. I remember hiking in the mountains in the Alps, and we got kind of lost, and we had to reach the hut before it gets dark. And it was not funny because we had to walk in a single file, and we means only 3 people. And on one side was the crevice. You would just fall down. It was just the end of, you know. But then you become so mindful, and when you walk that path and you come out to a clearing and you see things. So what I'm trying to tell you is any detour, if you have the right attitude, um, you can make it so much fun. You can learn so much. I have met people when I've not got the direct flight. I have had beautiful experiences and loads of fun, or attended um, a wedding at someone's wedding whom I didn't know, just because um, I did not take the straight path. Not because it was just because I could not take the straight path. So just enjoy it. You know, what's the difference between, or how does a drunken snake crawl? A drunken snake crawls in a straight line. A normal snake would always go wiggly. So enjoy the path, because that path is laid out for you, even if you have to detour. And I like him saying that you have to think out of the box. So even living in London and Amsterdam, where the properties are really, really expensive. So if it doesn't work, go to your hometown or go somewhere else. So you just have to think out of the box, and it's not that difficult. Thank you.
Excellent. Anybody would like to add to this? Any reflection from anyone? That life is not linear.
We are supposed to enjoy every bit of life, like Shilpa told. It is not about go straight. If you are facing turns and turns and turns, and you are enjoying mindfully, you can enjoy mindfully that pathway. That is the beautiful thing. Thank you.
I would like to add something here. If you look at the map of the world, you will never see straight lines except in the continent of Africa. The continent of Africa was divided into countries in the 1800s by all the Europeans. They sat in Berlin on a table and they just took a ruler and they divided their colonies. That's where you have straight lines. So looking at that, you can imagine everywhere on the map, all the countries are not straight. So I think we should remember going A to B is never straight. And this idea of having straight lines, like even I remember being asked from one of the tribes in South America why our houses or our buildings were square, when everything in nature, everything in the galaxy and the planets everything is circular. I had no answer to it then. Something to think about. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like, see, if you have a completely different kind of experience when you are meditating in a room which is round in shape and which is not round in shape. There's a big difference, huge difference. So if you observe that most of the temples which are built or temples or any religious places, they have been built in a way such that the core area where you are going to meditate should be a round space. There shouldn't be any corners in that room. So there's science behind it. But yes, you're right that it is a food for thought. You can actually think over it. Like that's why always focus on meditating in a space which is as round as possible with less corners. That will make a big difference. Okay, so let's go ahead with the next chapter. Very interesting discussion is going on. So life is not linear. Okay, so here we are. Who would like to read next? Connect the dots.
Okay. Connect the dots. Your brain is constantly working, even when you are not actively thinking. Apart from managing all the vital functions of your body, the brain also scans every piece of information that comes in. The brain compares it with other information that it has already stored. The brain searches for similarities and differences between the information. That is how we think and use our brain to come up with new ideas. The brain consists of many small networks of neurons that connect to other networks like this. A diagram is given connecting the dots 1, 2, 3, here and there, like 4, 5 is showing. Just a basic understanding of how my brain works helps me to understand how I can nurture it. This line is very important. Understanding of just a basic understanding of how my brain works helps me to understand how I can nurture it. I don't worry about finding a direct application for information I acquire. I feed my brain with knowledge that I am curious about. I I feed my brain with knowledge that I am curious about, and that diverse information might be stored in different networks, but as long as I connect the dots later, I am okay with that. Like Steve Jobs said, you cannot connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking backward. So you have to trust that dots will somehow connect in your future. If you want the dots to connect in the future, you have to make sure form dots in your brain. If you want the dots to connect in future, you have to make sure you form dots in your brain. The only way you form dots is by learning, doing, making mistakes, reflecting, or anything you can do to feed your brain with the input it needs to give you the in output you want. Sorry.
So that's so simple and straight, है ना? Connect the dots. यहाँ पे एक्चुअली अगर आप नोटिस करेंगे that those of you who have done NLP, that what Darius did is he simply presented the communication model of the mind. बहुत सिंपल तरीके से उन्होंने इसको प्रेजेंट किया कि we always connect the dots with the experiences or emotions that we already had in the past. तो हमारे लाइफ में जब कुछ भी हो रहा है, why we are connecting the dots? Basically to identify how different they are or what similarities they have. NLP, according to NLP, we call it distortion because it's the same event. For example, I am saying one sentence and each of you is making a different meaning out of it based on the experiences that you have so far. और NLP के language इसी को बोला जाता है distortion because the end result, the end thoughts that we are having is not going to match with any of us. It is so unique in nature. So so connecting the dots, this is where the importance of connecting the dots comes in. Okay, what thought you are thinking at any given point of time, if you can catch yourself, if you can observe, probably you can make a difference over there. And naturally, when you make a difference in your thoughts, the outcomes that follow is definitely going to be different. They cannot be the same outcomes with this with the different thoughts. So that's my insight from this chapter. Who would like to add to this? Like I can invite Vasu to talk on this. You know, like whatever he is doing over last 7-8 days with this FELD competition that is coming up. He is putting his best effort to connect the dots in every possible way. Like that, whatever conversation is going on in that FELD group regarding this competition, उसको अगर हम तरीके से connect करेंगे, so we can actually see a lot of things. Whether the whole picture is all about getting things in place. Also, why don't you share your experience on this? Just to,
Yeah, one of the inspiration which I will be sharing in some time is that there is a optimism and there is a active optimism. So optimism is just thinking that things will be positive, sab acha hoga. But beyond that is where I keep on doing is make it active, make it happen. One of the what you call core activities of my previous company, ITC Limited, was making things happen. You just don't keep quiet and wish things will happen. You take action. As Pinaki always says, in the law of attraction, the last 6 letters are action. So that's what action taking is all about. You have seen the dots. Now you need to join the dots to make a star, or join the dots to make a pentagon, or join the dots to make a beautiful rangoli. So that's how things can happen. You can work on or keep silent. So one message in between saying that only 12 people have voted up to now may instigate 2 or 3 persons to feel that, oh, I am missing the bus. Let me get into that. So that's how making things happen. I don't know how active the group was while I was absent, but once I am there, then I I sometimes feels I am the only one who is talking, but then I instigate people to talk, connect dots, add perspective to things that have been shared, and then people start sharing that. So that way, the connecting of dots is done. So there is some dot in Pinaki's mind, and there is some dot in Sumedha ma'am's mind, and something in Rekha's mind. Then something is there in Dr. Rajkumar's thinking. So someone wanted a PDF file, someone has given a normal file, then we got when someone asked, someone has given that back. So making things happen when you express it out. Many times it happens that the things are not coming out in a straight manner. So thinking straight, if you see here, he says that he had a clarity of thought. He said that I want to do real estate business to earn money. And if it is not London, तो फिर चलो लाल कुआं में ही कर लेते हैं. So that's how he appears to have done that and earned the money. So that's a way that his own hometown helped him to do the business, and he found that just like the total book of alchemy says that alchemist says that whatever treasure he was trying to search, it was at home. So this is all coming back to that. So connecting dots is most important. What you see and what you express. So yesterday I was seeing a LinkedIn post. I will just share that, and the caption written was the don't think like a monkey. And if you see that video, I wrote in the bottom that the Panchatantra war continues. So the person who had shared the video replied that this is very like smart thinking. So I will share the video. You can enjoy that part. So there are dots there. The crocodile was fighting with the monkey. That dot was there, but I connected it to the Panchatantra story. People were connecting it to leadership, all those things. So once you see the video, you can enjoy that part and tell me how the Panchatantra war is continuing in that. So that's how connecting dot means for me.
Wow, beautifully summarized. Yes, absolutely. You need to observe that what you are connecting the dots with. So if you are not selecting those dots, then your subconscious mind is selecting the dots in its own way. And that's way when things get distorted, you land up by asking question, मैंने ऐसा सोचा तो नहीं था, फिर ऐसे कैसे हो गया, है ना? So yeah, wonderful. Who would like to add to this? In fact, I will request Sanjana to add to this.
Thank you so much, Pinaki ji, and everyone. Good morning. And Vasu, thank you so much the way you have connected the dots. So that's a wonderful sharing that you have done. Means I have goosebumps when you were sharing. I was listening, and today I'm on. I have just woke up. Yesterday I was out at night, and I have just got up and sat in front of the laptop. So I was listening and enjoying the morning. So thank you so much. And connecting the doors. Whenever I give a mindful pause and the things come to my mind, I connect the doors. Initially, it was a random thinking कि चल रहा है, आ रही हैं thoughts आ रही हैं. But now, whenever I pause, from where? Like मेरे दिमाग में थॉट आई केक की, उसके साथ बर्थडे, उसके साथ में पार्टीज, अभी अभी की बात करती हूँ, अभी की बात करती हूँ कि अभी क्या चला उसमें. Just now, I happened to see the date on my screen, and I suddenly got a reminder it's my brother's birthday today. And then a chain of a chain of thoughts came to my mind, all the memories associated with that, all the things came to my mind, and the things happen. And it is not happening in one or other thing. हर चीज में हमारे साथ डॉट्स का कनेक्शन है, बट द थिंग इज इफ वी पोज ओनली देन वी कैन कनेक्ट द डॉट्स. अदरवाइज दैट इज अ रैंडम थिंकिंग, रैंडम हमारा मैकेनिज्म जो चल रहा है, वी आर डूइंग इट रैंडमली. बट व्हेन वी as soon as we pause, immediately we connect the dots. So alchemist example is the best example for it. कि हमें चीजें मिल जाती हैं जब हम रुकते हैं, उसका रूट मिलता है, एंड immediately we are in that moment and we get the insights. Like in the first chapters that we have read today, I think that was the first because I joined late. So उसमें ये था कि हमें आसपास की जो अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिल रही हैं, और हर थॉट जो है कोई अपॉर्चुनिटी क्रिएट कर रहा है. हम थॉट जो है लीनियर नहीं है. सेकंड चैप्टर इट वाज आई थिंक. सो लीनियर नहीं है. So I have experienced this thing in my life. A lot of time I have experienced कि जब मैंने बिल्कुल उससे अलग जाके सोचना शुरू किया. I started living with the people and suddenly I started connecting dots with my life कि कहाँ मुझे intuitions हो रही हैं वो. सोमिता ब्यूटीफुली सेड कि इमोशंस जो है एनर्जी स्टोर. जब हम इसको इमोशंस के फॉर्म में एनर्जी के फॉर्म में देखते हैं तो हमारा पर्सपेक्टिव टोटली चेंज हो जाता है. So this is a wonderful chapter and to be very frank, आज ही मुझे अपनी कल मुझे हार्ड कॉपी मिली थी and today is the first day I am opening the book and मुझे लग रहा है कि अभी बैठ के आज सारा इसको कंप्लीट पढ़ूंगी जितना हो गया अभी तक. So wonderful. And next week I will join from the beginning because जो हमारे थॉट्स हैं लाइफ में हमारे, हम सीधा सोचते हैं तो हमें कुछ नहीं मिलता. जब zigzag वे में सोचते हैं, so that brings the real change. So I think we all are sitting here because हमने सीधा सोचना बंद कर दिया. हम लाइफ को हर पर्सपेक्ट से देख रहे हैं. So that's the beauty of this group and we all are on the same path कि हम गोल को यहाँ से भी ले लेंगे, वहां से भी ले लेंगे, पर ले लेंगे. Thank you so much. That's all and have a great time. Thank you so much. And I would like to read the next chapter. Filter your thoughts. There's too much information for our brain to process. So we are forced to filter it. If we don't, we go nuts. And in that filtering process, we develop shortcuts to ease the cognitive load of making decisions. These shortcuts are called heuristic. The heuristic is a strategy we derive from previous experience with a similar problem. One heuristic that everyone knows is trial and error. A strategy for finding answers to problem we face. It is also a way of thinking. But trial and error is not always the most practical strategy. If you would rely on trial and error to build a career, you would probably die before achieving that goal. Life is too short for applying trial and error to everything. Another restraint that's not practical is social proof. We often make decisions based on what others do or say. And my favorite heuristic is familiarity. It says that Past behavior that led to good results is not a guarantee for future results. The familiarity heuristic also explains why we favor things and places we know where over novelty. It's one of those things, sorry, if it is one of those things we see every day. We eat the same things, we walk the same route, we make the same mistakes, and we complete the same task at work over and over again. And then we complain that our lives are stuck or boring. No wonder you are making decisions based on familiarity. But who says that familiarity is always a good thing? It's good for certainty, but to achieve a breakthrough, you need something different. Making decisions based on heuristic techniques might ease the cognitive load, but they are far from practical, and often heuristic leads to unsatisfying outcomes. In that, if that's the case, make it a sign that you must change something instead of relying on heuristic to filter information and making decisions. Rely on the main idea of pragmatism. True is that works, but don't take it too literally. Taking drugs works for me, is what a contentious friend told me after I shared this idea with him. And he is right. You can take this idea too literally. But what can you take literally in life? Take the platitude. Good things come to those who wait. For example, I don't have to explain that it does not mean you should sit at home and wait forever until good things happen. Look at the truth is what works. Idea is as a filter that you can apply to all the information that goes into your brain. Now, a diagram has been there. All the knowledge in the world entering into your brain. Filter knowledge that impacts your habits. Great. When faced with decisions, I ask myself, will the outcome of a decision change the way I live? If you ask that yourself consistently, just a minute. If you ask that yourself consistently, you will find that you automatically filter out unless useless information, and only make decisions that have an actual impact on the outcome of your life. You force yourself to use whatever works, what's useful, and what impacts your habits. For example, conventional thinking says that bigger cities also bring you bigger opportunities. I really thought that was true. That's even the main reason I moved to London. And yes, I did seize a big opportunity for me at that time, but I also had bigger responsibility and problem. And also, I don't like big cities. I hate crowded places, dirty air, and unreasonably high cost of living. Clearly, living in a big city didn't work for me. That way of thinking had a negative impact on the way I live. That's why I eventually moved to Leeuwarden. It's quiet. I know a lot of people here. I can work less, make more, and I can drive anywhere in the city within 10 minutes. However, I also realize that for most people, my way of living doesn't work. They might find it boring or not exciting enough. So, do what works for you? I think that's it. Chapter is over.
Yes, this chapter is over. Now the
Yeah.
reflection starts.
That's a wonderful chapter. In fact, all the chapters that I have read are all the wonderful ones.
Chota chapters. Did you notice that they are like
Yeah,
mini skirts? They keep the
yeah,
curiosity alive, covering the topic.
yes, yes. What is coming next? What is next? Actually, the approaches which have been discussed in this chapter, this is telling the author's real life experience. Firstly he tried the try and error formula and different approaches that he has used. That is a quite practical thing, and it is absolutely true. Let me share yesterday's incident. When we were in a dinner party yesterday night, a friend of mine is from Delhi. She has been married to his in our city, and she said that I am the only one who is just बस मैं ही अकेली हूँ जो हिसार में सड़ रही हूँ. In my entire family all are in Delhi. When I asked, how do you find Delhi good? How do you see? So we had a good discussion over that. Then finally she concluded, हाँ यार तू सही कह रही है कि यहाँ ही ठीक है. I mean, you are getting the opportunities. Only one aspect you are seeing. She said, so one big reason she gave to me कि अगर हम यहाँ होते दिल्ली में ही तो मुझे मेरे बच्चों को बाहर पढ़ने नहीं भेजना. Then different people come up कि मेरा बेटा वहां पढ़ रहा है, मेरा बेटा यूके गया है, मेरा बेटा बैंगलोर पढ़ रहा है. And his son is doing graduation in BTech he is doing. So one of my friend whose son is settled in UK. They are all older to me, so they have their children are settled down almost. So she said to me कि मेरा बेटा यूके में सेट है, बीटेक करके गया हुआ है. So then she has the eye opening moment कि opportunities तो कहीं भी हो सकती हैं. Why to get stuck? Then we had a discussion कि life qualities क्या है. जैसे author ने अपना share किया कि I didn't have the good experience of living in the particular city, London, when he shifted. The same thing was discussed. Actually, कई बार हम सोचते हैं कि opportunities are bound to the particular place. Opportunities can come from anywhere. So we need to filter, really. We need to filter our thoughts. And we need to use different, because unless we change the way we are, because James Clear's this quote is one of my favorite, unless you change the way you are, you will remain what you are. So we'll have to change ourselves, the way we are living, the way we are having a perspective, the way we are looking at the things. So we will have to make changes with everything. Only then the life will change. So in the nutshell, I think this is the message of this chapter, that we need to change. We need not stick to one approach. So that's it.
Absolutely. Like he's talking about that how you're filtering the thoughts which are coming to you. So, like in my NLP in action workshop, I talk about a dynamic way of looking at things. I say that when there is no opportunity, or you think that the opportunity is very difficult or not so easy for you to grab, how about thinking it a different way? Like, how about creating opportunity when there is no opportunity? How about you be the source of that opportunity? किसी ना किसी ने वो opportunity create किया है ना जिसको आप ढूंढ रहे हो, तो why don't you become that person to create a new opportunity? And eventually we come to a point where we discover ourselves that every moment who we are is an opportunity. So I am the opportunity. हमें लग रहा है कि we are opportunity ढूंढ रहे हैं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं. I am the opportunity. And how I become that opportunity? Because whenever I join that opportunity, my contribution does make some difference over there. So if that is the case, then why I am not clear about myself that I am the opportunity? I say I am the possibility, I am the opportunity. ये एक इतना strong सोच है कि all the thoughts which are coming to you कि मैं क्या करूं, मैं क्या करूं. When you just ask yourself that who am I in this context, and if you declare yourself that I am the opportunity, I am the possibility, all the borders vanish, because now you are out of that border. Now it's all open for you and me to make a difference. I am not dependent on anything which already happened in the past. So like I could connect the dots with this wonderful thought which I discussed in that training program, that I am the possibility, I am the opportunity. Yes, who would like to add to this?
Change is the only thing which is constant. That's my biggest takeaway from this chapter. Because, and Einstein, I also remember the lines of Einstein where it says that when you do the same thing again and again and expect the different outcome, that's the height of insanity. So that is the concept of familiarity discussed in this chapter. That if I'm doing the same thing again and again, like it requires, because we all are changing beings, and we really need to see, like, agar walking is good for health, for example, but if I'm walking in a same linear way, going round and round in a circles in a park, and I expect कि यार वॉक तो डेली कर रही हूँ, फिर भी जो फिटनेस गोल की हाइट जो अचीव करना चाहती थी वो नहीं हो रही है, व्हाट्स द रॉन्ग? देन आई स्टार्टेड डूइंग बैकवर्ड वॉकिंग, एंड व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड डूइंग बैकवर्ड वॉकिंग, इट रियली चैलेंज्ड माय ब्रेन. अरे नहीं नहीं, सीधा ही वॉक कर लो. व्हाई आई वांटेड टू shift myself from the comfort zone. But when I saw after 1 week what health benefits, what different ways of what benefits I got it from backward walking, it was really mind blowing. So the change is because the fitness is not, or exercise, जैसे last time Manish ने बताया था 10 minutes ही walk कर लो, 10 minutes ही कुछ physical fitness I did it, and it will lead to a massive results. But slowly we need to say कि वो 10-20 minutes में कैसे convert है, how different you are walking. So instead of taking 10 round circles in a park, if you take just 2 round circles and 2 staircase up चढ़ लो, so that is a different approach you are doing to your health fitness. So uh, so keep thinking out, not in a linear way, and just think what different you can do it. So I started doing squats, and it is giving me a good results, because इन सब का connect कहीं ना कहीं brain से जबरदस्त होता है. Because there was a time just 6 months back, and I was thinking, is I'm really aging? I'm forgetting names. In spite of addressing the other person through names, how can I am taking a lot of time in. So I did my research, and then it was such a wonderful study which came out कि अगर आप स्क्वाट्स करते हो, अगर आप बैकवर्ड वॉकिंग करते हो, तो उसका आपका मेमोरी पे भी बहुत ज़बरदस्त इम्पैक्ट पड़ता है. And then I really love the line of Einstein that doing the same thing again and again and expecting a different result is an height of insanity. So change is the only thing which is constant. Pehle milk was considered as a complete food. Nani dadi ke zamane mein, because they used to have their own cows and buffaloes, and that was the theory it came out, that milk is a complete food. But now we understand that with an increasing population, milk is completely become a poison if you don't know its source. So you can take the sources of calcium. And 20-25 years back, when my aunt was forcing me to drink milk, my brother came and told me कि if milk is giving a calcium, then why not we are eating lotus seeds? It also, it's a plant product, and it is also giving the same source. कि वही फैमिली, इसलिए बिलीफ को चैलेंज मत करो, सोर्स ऑफ बिलीफ को चैलेंज करो. दैट द ब्यूटिफुल लाइन विच ऑथर टोल्ड इट, दैट ऑल्सो स्ट्रक मी हार्ड, कि अगर कैल्शियम लोटस सीड से भी मिल रहा है, देन व्हाई वी आर फोर्सिंग आवर जनरेशन टू ड्रिंक मिल्क, राइट? सो change is the only thing which is constant. And thank you so much.
Yeah, so there's an opportunity to build a business out of lotus seeds.
Yes, and my daughter also already had implanted this idea.
क्या
Uh,
बात है, क्या बात.
yes. And the place where she wanted to use this as a business was really amazing. वो भी बहुत ही different perspective था. So she's just waiting for a year and thinking how I can put this. Because right opportunity, right place, right timing, सब कुछ matter करता है.
Absolutely.
So she had this idea. आप पिनकी जी बहुत when the examples which you gave, it really, I mean, ऐसा लग रहा है कि जैसे आपने कहा पॉज किया, मैं रुक कर और उस सीन को इमेजिन कर रहा हूँ. एग्जैक्टली द सेम माई हस्बैंड डिड इट. जब हम लोग पीछे बैठकर कार के अंदर सीनरी को इमेजिन करते हैं, ही सेड, हे व्हाई यू शुड पीपल हैव फन, लेट मी पॉज. He will put the brake of his car, he will just took a spot and he will just view the thing. ऐसा लग रहा है सब कुछ exactly वही हो रहा है, whatever you are describing it. So thank you so much your
You know, there was a
and
story.
आप लोग डेरिस की बात कर रहे हैं. मतलब इट्स सरप्राइजिंग, मैंने ये बुक्स फील्ड ग्रुप में डिस्कस करी है. फोकस ऑन व्हाट मैटर्स, डू इट टुडे. I gave the summary of these books and कहीं ना कहीं बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है कि the same reflection which I did it, I wrote notes in my notebooks, and the same I'm getting an opportunity on this Sunday morning to rethink and questioning myself कि how you are implementing it. So this Sunday reading session is not a reading session for me. It's a high time of reflection that what I implemented, what I'm not implemented, as it's well said, that education which is not implemented is a waste of time. And this Sunday morning session, thanks to Pinaki and the entire group, is giving me an opportunity for reflection that how much I'm implemented. Is it just to-do list है मेरे एक्सेल वर्कशीट पे कि ये बुक्स रीड कर ली, ये बुक्स रीड कर ली, ये बुक्स रीड कर ली, या फिर ये हाई टाइम है कि मैं ये सोचूं कि मैंने क्या इम्प्लीमेंट किया, क्या इम्प्लीमेंट किया, क्या इम्प्लीमेंट किया. So thank you so much for giving this opportunity.
Brilliant. Yes. Who would like to add to this? Rajeshwari, कहाँ छुपी हुई हो? Lalita, why don't you come up? Divashri.
What I would like to say by joining this morning session, I got the wonderful takeaways. I'm just repeating that. As you gave the wonderful thought on authoring the book, as the writer has done, so that it brought, then managing the habit. Always we find, means we talk about creating a new habit. Why not managing the habit? This I got. Then Vasu sir, he said about the optimism and active optimism. So some of the time we sit and feel that everything goes, means I also feel that everything goes in a better way. I just pray. So why I'm not talking about this? Why I'm not taking the action for it? So that was the biggest realization. Then this, I'm just forgetting her name. I don't know why I'm forgetting.
Shilpa?
Ha,
Shilpa.
Silpa, yes. So as Silpa just said about the meditation part, that in a temple, we have seen the temple or the mosque in a circular. So it's for the prayer or all the divine, where the divine temples we have seen. So all these things are the circular. That also gave me a wonderful thought to think and reflect. And Swamita ma'am always bringing the best thing, that change is constant. And backward, she was talking about the backward walk, then taking the stairs, is going up and down. Then Sanjana Dhawan ma'am is also talking about, as the author told us, that I also was having that concept in my mind that living in a big city will create opportunity for me as I'm in a small town. So all these things somewhere deep down help me to grow in my life. I just also changed my thought that no, where I am, I have the possibility, I have the opportunity. The wonderful thought that you always share, NLP in action. Just apply the NLP techniques and strategy in your day-to-day life. So I am the opportunity, I am the possibility. With this thought, whatever the takeaways I got today from you people, I'm just going to implement.
सो ब्यूटीफुल. हर ग्रुप में एक राजेश्वरी होना चाहिए जो सब कुछ समराइज करके हमारे डॉट्स को कनेक्ट कर ले, राइट? सो गुड, सो गुड.
I got more from this morning session for writing on the LinkedIn.
I personally feel, once we accept the change in our life and we feel change is one thing which is permanent, the life starts changing by itself. Every moment is changing, and like our thoughts are changing, our bodies are changing. Every moment they're changing, and I think once you accept that change is bound to come, things itself change.
The one most beautiful takeaway, I know one thing, that I don't know nothing, that I know nothing. So this curiosity will help us in growing.
You know, this is a request to all my angels who are sitting in Bangalore. Get Rashmi into this reading session. मैं भी बात करूंगा आज उससे. and
Yeah, Rashmi. Yesterday
bring her.
only we had a talk. Oh, yesterday only I had a talk with her
She
because
would be
she
probably
she
the
give
most happiest person.
yes. She gifted a book to the members in the field group, and when I came to know, I didn't I just missed that opportunity, but immediately I purchased the book on that day itself and read it.
Yeah,
Yes,
this was
I,
the book.
Which book?
this
this is
book,
the
This
book.
one.
This
Think
was
Straight, Think Straight.
Yeah, there
Yes,
is some good news that Rashmi has, where she was working, she used to travel for 2 hours earlier. Now
yes.
she
now
got a
she
job
converted. Yeah.
in a different location and she had put a status yesterday. So I contacted her and she said that now it is dropped to 15 minutes. So
क्या
I
बात
said,
है.
okay, that not just good news to you and your children, it's good news for FELD also because we may see the beautiful face again.
Certainly.
Yeah, so I think it's right to tell her to come and join Think Straight because she was the person who gifted the book in our when I came back from Uganda. That was the book. She did not give it to me, so I read it on the soft copy.
Yes, Lalita and Pravina. Please go
Yes,
ahead.
good morning to all. Thank you so much, sir, for giving this opportunity to join all of you. I have learned so many things from today's session. This is, I think, my first reading session when I have joined. Maybe it was late, 30 minutes late, but I have joined. And I enjoyed so much, and I have learned so many things from you people. I think when we are worried about something, ask ourselves one thing is that can we control on this thought or not? Sometimes it happens that that thought continuously disturbing us. When we are doing other work, but we can't just focus on that particular work, that thought come in our mind and they get disturbing me. So I think if I am just able to just find the solution for this thought, then I can do. Otherwise, let it go. How in this way that is going on? Because nowadays I am facing the same problem. Uh, I'm working with her Ashri ma'am. So some problem is there, and that thought is coming continuously in my mind. When I woke up in the morning today, in the same way that thought come in mind, and I get disturbed. As Saturday night, I decided no, I will be just not think about that matter. But still in the morning today, I facing the same thing. I can't distract myself from that thought, and that again disturbing me. So I think I should leave it. If I can do, I can resolve this problem, then I should do this. Otherwise, let it go how it is going on. And we should just think maybe there is a positive aspect from this matter. Otherwise, anything, whatever disturbing us day by day, so many problems are here in our life. We are facing the same things not happening according to us. So maybe something is better for me. That's why it's coming on. And I will also definitely purchase this book, sir. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Beautiful sharing, Lalita. Awesome. Yes,
Thank you so much.
Pravina and Devashri, quickly, before we close the session. So, Devashri, it's a surprise that you are in the session this morning. How could you take your time out? What prompted you or inspired you to get up early from the bed this morning?
Good morning, Pinaki, and a lovely way to welcome me. I mean, started my day, got me laughing. So, yes, it's going to be a happy Sunday. Good morning, everyone. So, yes, the actual reason was that I've been up since almost like 4:30, and I've not been able to sleep thanks to my anxiety. But the positive of the
That's a good
negative,
one.
yeah, the positive. No, I'm being very frank. The honest me speaks. So the positive, I mean, how I look at it is the positive of the negative that I actually attended the session. So yeah, so I would like to focus on consistency, and I'm reminded of Somita's words, Einstein's, that change is the only constant.
I can't hear her. Is we lost a
Yes,
connection?
lost.
Yes.
And I was actually, the fear that arises out of anxiety, that is emanated out of anxiety, was keeping me away from consistency in terms of certain habits in my daily life. So I was averse to consistency. Now, this change happened just last Sunday. So it's a matter of about just a week when I actually took a decision. I was able to take a decision. I think God has his part to play here. And I said, no, let me make this particular week the most transformational, life changing week, I mean, of the past 6 years that I have been in this rut of anxiety. And today I'm like 7 days thankful to God, to the Almighty, that I have been able to consistently do what I was wanting to achieve. For almost 6 years, I couldn't do. I was able to consistently do during this week. So I guess God had planned it for me, and it's finally happened. So here is so I started questioning myself, but how can consistency create a change? I kept questioning myself throughout the process. I was not very, I mean, what you say, there was an element of doubt all along. And there were times when the motivation was not coming, and I wanted to like step back and say, Arey, I don't want to do it tomorrow. Just forget it. I think it's just another failed attempt. But something just kept me going. So today, when I look back at the 7 days whatever I've achieved across 7 days, so, and here is so I would like to, I Googled something about consistency, and it says that consistency a key to success. So it says, yes, consistency is widely considered the key to success because repeated dedicated efforts build momentum, habits, and expertise over time. While motivation is temporary, consistency is a more reliable path to achieving long term goals. It involves disciplined and persistent action, even when motivation is lacking, allowing you to learn from mistakes and continuously improve. Still, I was not, I mean, this is just a, what you say, of enlightenment that I've got in the past 5 minutes. I just couldn't come to terms, but I'm looking at my past experience some days. But how consistency has created a change? How? I mean, I have experience in the past 7 days that it has actually created a change. So whatever I did has worked, and it is a success, I can say. But I was not able to realize how. Then in the 5 minutes, it just struck me. So I looked, what has happened in the 7 days? And this is what my observation and realization is, that consistency, whilst I was consistently
We lost you, Devashri.
if I'm going to do actions, say A, B, C, D, E, I cannot skip even one action. Even if I skip one action, the goal F is not attained. So I've been consistently doing A, B, C, D, E, A, B, C, D, E, F, and then out, achieving my. So whilst doing this A, B, C, D, E, A, B, C, D, E, I was so irritated in the past 7 days that I came to a breaking point saying that it's too much. Why do I need to do this? Let me just skip the C, or let me just skip the D or the E. And somewhere through midweek, I observed that I'm actually skipping the B. Sometimes I skip the D. It was nothing sequentially, but say one day, like about the third day, I probably skip the E. I probably skip then the fourth day, I probably skip the C. And that is how today, when I'm on the seventh day, I have to go in for the 7th day. I mean, into my activity, whatever I've been doing. But I realize today the A, B, C, D, E has probably been reduced to just A, B, C. And that I guess, definitely a great measure of success for me. So coming back to the happy realization, I use the word happy realization because yes, it gives me immense happiness to see that I have evolved somewhere. I have won over my anxiety in not a very major manner, but a minor manner. But yes, it is an achievement, something that I was not able to achieve since 6 years. So it is in fact, a great achievement, I will say. So
Wonderful.
I give myself a pat on the back. And so consistency creates frustration, creates irritation. And that irritation and that frustration sort of leads you to, stop doing something that, you feel bothered, you feel irritated, you feel disgusted, you feel frustrated to the extent that you actually stop doing that one thing. And that helps you succeed, helps you actually overcome that one thing, that one of the mundane things that you're doing every day, like a robo, like a machine. So this is my success story over the past 7 days.
Good. So, so that inspired you to be in the session this morning.
Not
That
really.
ABC instead
Not
of the D.
really. Not real. Not
Good.
really. I mean, my anxiety persists. So I have still a lot
Okay.
of anxiety with me, and because
Before
which I
closing the
get
session, I will give you a wonderful gift this morning. Before closing the session, I promise you. Yeah, Pravina, your take quickly.
Uh, Actually, I also made the part of the book review of this book in another group. So, but it's since maybe 1 year back, so I have to forward so many things. But yes, yesterday the same thing, the one thing happened that due to somehow we are not able to go according to plan, and there is very much tension and uncomfortable anxiety. But then after some time, I reflect on it and what can I do in the situation? If I can change it, then okay, I will change it. And if I'm not able to change it, then leave it. Anxiety से क्या होगा? कुछ नहीं होगा. But when at the time of the movement or with the time the things going on, it is happening at the same wired earlier. So after I thought, yes, I have to reflect on it and I have to make the change the way I am thinking. And yeah, so the rest of the day after the when I reflect on and decide that yes, I have to change, then I'm very comfortable and I accept the situation and whatever good I can do in that situation, I do my part and so feeling very calm and satisfied that okay, I've given my part. So it is only the way we think make the changes. So it is like the Vidyapati Brahmarakshas. There is one saying in the Marathi. So whatever you want to avoid, it always come in front of you. So when you face it, you accept the situation and learn the lesson, the things disappeared and never be the same they were previously. So this was the lesson for me yesterday, and definitely I will go through this book again and I will go through the presentation I made in previously on this book and share my experience or what that I learned previously and what is my current learning. I will share in the next session. Yeah. Thank you very much for choosing this book and giving me opportunity.
Wonderful. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have last few words from Sumita ma'am, and then I'll just take 2 minutes. Sumita ma'am, over to you.
I'm just thinking it's not just a book reading session. It is a life experience session. And thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, it's a live reading session. It's not a book reading session, actually.
Yes.
It's your own reflection on your own life.
Yes, then everybody has to think in their own way, whichever suits them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Good. So I'll just take my last 2 minutes. First is again to Devashri. Do not use these words that you used in your communication because they are haunting you. And some of these words are like frustration, you used, irritation, you used. Do not use this one in your communication. Be consistently aware of it. When we are talking about thinking straight, I'm just giving you something to think straight. Do not use these words in your communication, even if you feel insisted to use those words.
Yes, you've mentioned earlier as well,
Okay.
but it just comes. It just
Yeah,
comes to me.
because of this but thing. You said because of this but it keeps on appearing. It will keep on appearing. Now it's your preference, your choice to make it.
Yet.
I
To
think
make
it's
it
just an
happen.
expression of the pain that I
कुछ
experience.
भी हो, you don't use the word pain in your communication either.
And what should I use?
I don't know. Okay, now
Difficult.
this is one
It's
thing. I'm telling
difficult, but
you.
not impossible. But not impossible.
See, whatever you say, it is possible. If you say this is impossible, even that is also possible. Possible means that keeping things or making things impossible is also a possibility. So when we say in our communication this is impossible, we are making sure that we'll make sure it is impossible. So I will make sure that it is possible to make things impossible. Okay, so impossibility is also possibility. Anyway, I can have a different session on this altogether. But it's the gift that I'm going to give to all of you this morning is whoever you have become till date, is a result of you being a certain way over a period of time, consistently, persistently, and relentlessly. Whoever you have become till date, or whoever you have become now till date, is an outcome of doing certain things consistently, persistently, and relentlessly. Whether you are aware of it or not, that really doesn't matter. But the result is what you are seeing. Result आपके सामने है.
Absolutely true.
Okay. So if you want to change it, the only way is to do something what needs to be done consistently, persistently, and relentlessly over a period of time. अब choice आपका है. Choice is yours. Whether you want to make it possible or impossible, either way you are going to make it possible. Yeah, even impossibility is a possibility. So that's it from my side. Let's make our life amazing by doing certain things consistently, persistently, and relentlessly over some time, and let the world think about this gentleman. उसने क्या किया? इसका किताब हम पढ़ रहे हैं, उसने इसको लिखा था 2016-17 में.
हमको सीधा करके रख दिया.
Well said. Well spoken.
Okay.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Happy Sunday, everyone.
And make
Thank
sure
you.
that you show up next Sunday.
और
That's
रश्मि को साथ में लेके आना.
absolutely, बिल्कुल.
ये तुम्हारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी.
जी, बिल्कुल.
चलो, okay. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Sonali.